Hey guys, welcome back to Real Deep, week 2. Let's go. I'm excited. This episode is very important to me because I feel like so many people do it and don't realize it, me included. And it's something that's slowing us down, okay? We're talking about performative healing today. I know the word performative gets thrown around a lot, but I really feel like it's the appropriate word in this sense because a lot of times we think we're healing ourselves, but we're kind of low-key just doing surface level shit just to make ourselves feel comfortable enough instead of like actually healing something. And that's not what we do around here, obviously, because I called it Real Deep. Okay, what, y'all think we're just gonna stay on the surface at Real Deep? No, obviously not. But if you didn't know, the reason why I created Real Deep is because I truly believe that the secret to living your best life possible is by operating out of a place of true authenticity and consistently going beyond the surface of your experience. So essentially getting real and getting deep. Having that deep understanding and the ability to be super real with yourself is the best way to take your life to the next level because you are building yourself a strong and true foundation of like real happiness and not just comfort. You know what I'm saying? Be sure to stick around to the end of the episode because I'm going to be going through some submitted advice questions. And you know me, I don't sugarcoat anything, so I will be telling you the real tea. Okay? If you need advice on something and you need somebody to be super real with you, please submit your questions. You can submit questions anonymously to my email, realdeepproductions@gmail.com, or there is a Google form in the link in my bio of every social media platform that I have. So that being said, let's get started. So, performative healing, let's get into it. I honestly feel like something that I see too much of is like people who don't know where to put blame, basically. So instead of like healing their own insecurities, they're projecting it onto other people. Like, you don't actually hate your partner's ex. You don't know who that person is, you know? But her just existing and you knowing about her at all makes you feel insecure, makes you feel like negative emotions, right? So you have these negative emotions associated with this person. So on the surface, you might feel like you just hate that girl. No, you don't, girl. You aren't comfortable with yourself. Like, that's what the tea is. Like, you know what I mean? There's something deeper, and maybe it's not you not being comfortable with yourself, but it's something. I honestly feel like this is the same thing for like people hating on influencers. Like, you don't actually hate that person. First of all, you don't know them, but second of all, like, you just hate that somebody else who's not you is living a life that you perceive as like easier or better than yours. Like, that's not actually you hating that person. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are just deeply uncomfortable with the fact that you don't have the life you want. So the people that have the lives that they want make you upset. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, but this is what we do in this podcast. We're going to look at ourselves, okay? So if you're not ready to look at yourself, honestly, politely, I suggest you find a different podcast because we're here to do real work and we're here to get to the root. And so we have to be real with ourselves. So I know that's a little uncomfy, but is what needs to be done, okay? Basically, if you aren't getting to the root of your healing, then you are just performatively healing because you're not actually doing the real work. Like, if you're not going to the actual source and confronting your actual emotions, then you are like doing this performatively, like to yourself or to other people to say like, oh no, I'm good. I feel good. It's fine. Do you actually? Did you actually do the work to like heal that? Or is that something you're telling yourself to prevent you from going deeper and getting uncomfortable? Clock it. Sorry, had to do it. When I talk about healing journey in this episode, it could be literally you healing from anything. It could be having a friend breakup. It could be having a breakup. It could be loss, like grief. It could be trauma. Like, it could be so many different things. And you can performatively heal any of those things. Okay. So, you know, we are always going to keep healing from things for the rest of our lives. That's simply what being a human is. Like, we are just going to keep getting hurt and then healing ourselves. I know it's not ideal, but that, I fear, is the human experience. So this can truly apply to any situation, any age, anyone. So like I said, I really feel like honestly most people do this. And honestly, I feel like 80% of the time people don't realize that they're doing it. I feel like I'm going to say this in every episode, but if you aren't aware and real with yourself about where you're starting out on a topic or what your real emotions are in this moment in time, you can't go anywhere. Like, there's nothing, no work that you do is actually going to work because you're starting from a fake place. It's like having a destination and starting from a place that you're not actually at. Like, the directions that you're giving yourself, they're not going to work because you're not there. So we're going to start with figuring out how to tell if we are performatively healing. Okay, let's get into it. Guys, I don't know why I tried to record this during literally rush hour. There's a train every 2 seconds. I'm feeling really, really mature and patient right now, actually, it turns out. Okay. So, performative healing is when we act like we're over something or like growing, but we're really just protecting ourselves from feeling what's deeper. you know? So, the first thing we need to do when figuring out if we're doing this or not is kind of like see what we're telling ourselves. Like, are we saying, like, oh, I don't care? Like, oh, I really don't care. Like, it's fine. Like, it doesn't even bother me. Like, it's fine. Are you saying this because, like, that's what you want? Like, that's how you want to feel? Or, and you feel that way, like, mostly? Or are we saying that because we truly feel it on the inside? Because honestly, guys, I'm gonna be honest. Like, most of the time when I'm truly over something, I don't even really need to speak on the fact that I'm over it, unless it's like fresh and new and I just got over it. I don't really ever feel like I need to be like, oh, by the way, I'm over this. You know what I mean? So like, notice what you're telling yourself. And while we are being aware of our thought patterns and what we're telling ourselves, we also have to be aware of our true emotions. I am never gonna let y'all not look at your emotions. Sorry about it, but they are so, so important. They are tools to tell you what is going on within your body, within your mind. They're always there for a reason and they always serve a purpose. They might not feel the best, but emotions at the base level are not positive or negative. They just are. So while you're listening to this, and while you're being aware of what your patterns are, allow them to be and don't immediately associate those emotions with good or bad. Of course, you can like feel what you're feeling. You don't have to be like, oh, I'm sad and that's good. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to necessarily be like, oh my God, I'm sad. Like, this is the worst thing ever. You can be like, okay, I'm noticing that I'm sad right now. Where is this coming from? Kind of coming at it from an angle of curiosity rather than like, sitting deep in the emotion and like letting it hurt you. I know this is very hard to do. Trust. I'm a very emotional person, but just like at least keep it in mind and at least try to have curiosity as part of it. Okay? So when we're talking about performative healing, one of the things that might help you be aware that you are doing this is your emotions. So when you are healing something, if any of y'all go to therapy, which I highly recommend y'all do because I think every single person in this world can benefit from it. But if y'all are in therapy, you know that when you're getting to the root of something, when you're like breaking something down, it's a different feeling. Like it feels, of course, it's like hard to confront the emotions, but at the same time, it does feel like a release. Like it feels like, okay, like I'm like figuring something out. Like this feels good. Like I feel like I know myself better. I feel like I'm getting more comfortable with this. Like this is making more sense to me, you know? But if you're performatively healing, you are kind of trying to convince yourself of something. Like you're kind of trying to be like, oh no, I'm fine because, like, well, no, this doesn't hurt because. And it's like, oh, well, I'm actually better off because. You know what I'm saying? It's like those are indicators that you are just kind of trying to convince yourself that you're not hurting instead of like allowing yourself to hurt and working through it. You know what I'm saying? Another thing that could help you be aware is look at like your motivations, if that makes sense. So, are you healing for yourself because like you know that you need to and you want to, or are you healing for others to see you as healed? Or are you quote unquote doing the work because you want your ex to think that you're over it or something, or your ex best friend to like think that you don't care anymore? And listen, you can sit here and say, no, I'm doing it for me. No, I'm doing it for me. But this is one of the times where I'm going to ask you to lean in, be super real with yourself. Is that really true? Like, yes, of course, healing, everything that you do is inherently for yourself in some way. And it should be. It really, really should be. Your life is yours. Like what? You should be living for yourself. But if it's important to you how you look to someone else in this like healing journey, you might have to take a look at how much you value that. Because if that's something that is like a big priority to you, you want to like make sure people know that you're healed. They know that you're like fine now, like almost like proving it to them. That is a sign. Oh, girl, wait, me talking about this, I'm realizing I'm doing it right now. But when you're performatively healing, a lot of the times the way that you feel about what you're healing from is fragile. So it's like kind of up and down, and like if you're having a good day, then it's good. If you're having a bad day, then it's like really bad. And I'm obviously not saying that the healing journey doesn't come with ups and downs, duh. But I will say, when you're working through something truly and consistently, it almost feels slower, if that makes sense. So an example of this would be if you see that your ex is like sad and bummed out and like you know that they're not over you, so you feel good, right? But the second that your ex gets a new partner, girl, it's all over. Like we have another breakdown. So instead of having the ups and downs feel like, ugh, okay, I do understand that like I still miss this person, but yes, they're not for me and I know that, and you're like intellectualizing, but then you have like a rush of emotion. You have a wave of emotion hit you. And then you think about it and you work through it again, and then you kind of do the cycle again a little bit where it's like something else hits you and then you think about it, let yourself feel it, and then you keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a much calmer up and down experience than like your healing or you feeling healed being dependent on like different conditions, if that makes sense. So notice the consistency in your emotions as well. The last indicator that I'm going to talk about for performative healing is avoidance versus engagement. So if you're feeling these emotions and you notice that they're there and you're like, okay, fuck, like I'm feeling this again in my healing journey, whatever. Do you feel like you are noticing them and then doing what you can in the moment to not feel them? Or are you noticing them, allowing yourself to feel it, and like coping through it? There is a difference. There's a difference between being like, okay, I'm sad right now. What do I do to make myself happy? I need to listen to good music. Like, and you immediately like kind of distract yourself versus noticing that you're feeling something and allowing yourself to feel it, being like, okay, I'm sad right now. Okay, uncomfortable feeling, but it's coming from somewhere. What is going on, girl? Like, where is this coming from? Let me think about this, you know? Of course, you're not gonna have the capacity to work through every single emotion you feel every day, all the time. But if it comes to a specific thing that you find yourself kind of distracting yourself from over and over again, yeah, we may have to look into that. And some of y'all might be like, okay, Mary Alice, yes, love, but like, why do I have to take a harder look at that? Haven't I seen enough? Like, haven't I like looked at this enough? If I'm doing what I need to do to get through every day, like, why do I have to go further? Well, girl, do you want those thoughts to keep coming back up? Like, do you want to have to continuously do this cycle of like you pushing that thought away again and again and again? Because I hate to break it to you, but that is genuinely exactly what is going to happen. Like it will just always bother you at some level, and you don't have to live like that. Like you actually can free yourself from those things. However, the saying goes, time heals all wounds, right? Like time will heal it. Cool. Okay, yeah, time will heal it if you take the time to heal it. You know what I'm saying? Like, time on its own is not going to do it. You have to take the time and the energy and intention to really sit down with yourself and go through everything in order for you to genuinely be free of this. I feel like we all know this, okay? So let's not keep telling ourselves that we're fine if we're not, okay? And let me remind you that the best revenge is peace, is having peace for yourself and not caring. So, like, yeah, I know, like when you're healing from something, sometimes you do want like the revenge of like this person seeing you happier or you like coming out on top or like something like that. And like of course those things will feel good, but if you are constantly tying your success to how good it might look to this other person or like how it is to this situation, like what your success is when it comes to healing this, like oh I'm better than this now, like something like that, you're still living with that trauma or that hurt or that like whatever you're going through, you're still associating it so much in your life. Like it doesn't have to be a measurement, you know what I mean? Like if you're healed from something, you're not measuring where you're at now in comparison to like how much better you are than when you went through that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, of course, it's great to look back. It's great to be like, oh my God, I've come so far. Slay. But if you're like constantly being like, oh my God, see, like I'm doing this now because then blah, 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 you're still in the healing process then. In my opinion, that's my opinion. That's my opinion. Okay. Um, that's just my opinion. Obviously, it's not true in every single scenario, but I feel like y'all get what I'm saying here. Okay, hey, pause. Let's take a second to lock in. If y'all have locked out, please lock back in. How are we feeling? Are we noticing any patterns in ourselves? Like when I was talking about signs that you might be performatively healing, were you thinking of certain situations in your life? Or are you thinking of certain ways that you process emotions? Like, have we been being real with ourselves about our patterns? If so, I'm so proud of you. Slay. Good. That is the point. If not, it's okay. I know it's scary. I know that it's uncomfortable work, but this is going to be the most fulfilling work you ever do. Like literally promise. The more real with yourself you can be, the more unstoppable you will become. Okay? Because when you're living in that real deep mindset and you're getting deep on the topics you know you need to dive deeper into, you know yourself inside and out, there is nothing anyone in this world can tell you that you don't already know yourself. There's nothing somebody can say to you that's going to knock you off of your feet, off of your foundation, because the foundation you've built is so strong. Okay? So just a little reminder as to why we're doing this. Okay, let's get back into it. So now that we have taken a look at the warning signs, at the indicators that we might be doing a little performative healing moment, let's get to the point and let's talk about what we do instead. So let's say that you have a friend breakup. Okay, it was kind of nasty, didn't go over well, whatever. And this happened let's say this happened 4 to 5 months ago. It was a good friend. Like you felt like whatever happened was unjust. And maybe you notice yourself being like, ugh, it was like, she was such a terrible person anyway. Like it was awful. Like anyway, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Like if that person was a terrible person, cool. But we need to look at the whole situation and we need to face everything. Okay. So yeah, maybe you can say she was a horrible person. Is she probably a horrible person if you were friends with her for that long? Maybe not. There's clearly some kind of value that that person brought to your life for you to be friends with them. I know it's easy. I know it's so much easier to look at somebody and hate them or think they're a terrible person when they're not in your life anymore. It's a lot harder to look at somebody you have genuine love for and be like, okay, well, I guess I'm just living my life without you now. Yeah, it is harder. However, if you do have genuine love for that person, if you did at one point have genuine love for that person, you saying that that person is a horrible person is not doing what you think it's going to do. It is just cutting yourself off from those emotions, which, like I said, emotions are serving a purpose. When we look at these situations, the first step of what healing in a healthy way would be to notice what your emotions are and validate them. Okay? And I'm not talking about the emotions where it's like, oh, I miss them. Yes, of course, that's part of it. But of course you miss them. But are you also still hurt from not feeling heard? Do you still feel betrayed? Do you feel lonely? Do you have a gap in your life now that used to be filled with somebody you loved? Are you still angry? Are you still mad at the way things went down? So we need to name the emotions that we're feeling and we need to include them all. And let me just remind you guys that this is a process, okay? This is not something you're gonna do in one sitting. This is just what it takes to thoroughly heal from something. So once we name the emotions, now it is time to explore them. This is hard. I won't lie to you. Obviously, you know this. Sitting in those emotions and allowing yourself to feel them, allowing yourself to feel hurt, allowing yourself to feel angry, allowing yourself to feel betrayed, and asking yourself why. And why, and not just why do I feel hurt, but why does it hurt this much? Does it remind me of something else I went through? Is this a deeper wound than just this situation? Are there other times in my life that I remember feeling like this? Because that all plays a part into why this is hurting you still to this day. Because if there are still wounds from your past, you're just cutting yourself a deeper hole. So if you have performatively healed in the past, or if you've been in a state of kind of survival mode where you kind of just had to get through it, and now that you're exploring the emotion, you're like, oh, wait, this actually reminds me of this. In order to heal it, we have to pay attention to the whole story. And honestly, guys, this entire episode, I'm gonna need y'all to be very, very real with yourself, right? There is no shame in having something hurt you deeply. There is no shame in feeling deep emotions. There's no shame in being a quote unquote sensitive person. I feel like our society loves to tell people, oh, you're too soft. Oh, you're too this. Oh, you're too that. No. If you're feeling emotions, you're feeling them. Your emotions are valid simply because you feel them. They are in your body. If anybody in your life at all tries to tell you that you're being too sensitive or too this or too that when it comes to your emotions, I want you to know right now that they are wrong. They are 100% wrong. Your emotions feel intense for a reason. You pretending that something doesn't hurt you as badly as it doesn't make it go away. It's very natural to feel nervous to show the people in your life how deeply you feel about something, especially if you're feeling hurt. You know, it's a vulnerable situation for you to be in. Like, not everybody feels comfortable being that vulnerable with everybody in their life. That's fine, but you need to be able to be vulnerable with you. You need to be able to be vulnerable enough with yourself to allow yourself to feel your emotions and not shame yourself for them. Listen, the sooner you can accept that you are actually feeling what you are feeling, the faster you can heal. Because like I said in the beginning, if you're not allowing yourself to start in reality, you can't actually go anywhere. Like, you can't actually do that. So you need to be able to be vulnerable and real with yourself about just how deep this goes. When you are sitting alone in your room processing these emotions, there's no one there to tell you how to feel. There's no one there to judge you. You can be real with yourself. And I honestly think that just being able to allow yourself to do that is such a huge part in actually healing, because there's a lot of emotions that we hide from ourselves. And some of that can be on purpose because you don't want to feel it in the moment, so you just like push it away. And some of it can be subconscious. So it is your body protecting itself. Like, of course your body's going to be like, okay, this feels like shit. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, let me not feel this way. Let me feel good. So it's completely natural for it to take you a second to like unearth all of it. You know what I mean? But in order to do yourself justice, you have to keep digging until everything's out in the open. So when we're attempting to heal from anything, we have these things that I like to call mini protections. So these are things that we do mostly, honestly, subconsciously to comfort ourselves in the moment. You know, we're actually hurting over like a friend breakup and we direct blame onto that person instead of being at peace with what has happened and not being angry anymore, like all of those things. You being angry at that person is a mini protection. Another mini protection could be like telling yourself that you're over it. Another, like, those mini protections are things that your body and your mind puts into practice in order for you to feel safe and feel good. So let's say you find yourself being jealous of somebody on the internet. Some influencer just got like $1 million brand deal and you're like, what the fuck? That bitch is so unrelatable. Like, that's so fucking crazy. Like, I just don't like her. Her content has changed so much. She's unrelatable, blah, 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 blah. Okay, do you actually hate her now because she's unrelatable? Or do you want more for yourself? And because she got more for yourself and you don't feel like you did, it's easier to hate her than to look at the fact that somebody else did something that you want. Like, you have to be honest with yourself, because it's so easy to sit here and say, no, she's just unrelatable. No, I don't actually want that. I just blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, queen, people who are genuinely happy as fuck with their life don't really sit around judging other people's success. Sorry to clock it, but that is not what that is. If you're sitting around clocking another person's success, ethical success, obviously I'm not talking about fucking billionaires or anything like that, whatever. But if you are sitting around clocking somebody else's success and being like, oh, well, she doesn't deserve that because blah, blah, blah. Or like, oh my God, like she doesn't even work that hard, like blah, 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 blah. Okay, that, guys, it's not giving secure in your life. It's not. It's giving misplaced anger. And it's also, guys, and it's also creating a negative association with success. Like, I don't think you guys understand that. When you're projecting these things onto other people in order to not feel the emotions that you're feeling, you are actively creating a narrative to yourself that success is bad. That people who are successful are bad people. Or you don't want to be like that person. You don't like those kind of people. You don't like people who get everything they want. If you don't like people who get everything they want, why do you think you're going to get everything you want? Why do you think the universe would be like, oh, this girl's going to love it when she gets everything she wants, if all you ever do is like talk shit about people who do? So no, obviously it's not a good mindset to have, but that is what a mini protection is. You being mad at that girl for living a life that you perceive as like the dream life or like a good life or an easy life is a mini protection that you're putting up so you can feel something else rather than sitting in your own discomfort about your own life and where you are. You know what I'm saying? So in this same scenario where we're being a hating bitch to an innocent girly pop on the internet, okay, clock it, because that's what it is. So for step 2, let's take the same scenario. Once you have noticed this mini protection, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to ask ourselves why we're feeling that. Why do I feel like I don't like this girl? Like, why do I feel like I don't? What am I seeing in this person that is making me feel something? And what is that feeling? I guess you could say, like, why does her success make me feel small? Take a second to explore those insecurities. Take a second to explore those emotions and allow yourself to feel it. Don't be afraid of the feeling. I know it sucks, but allow yourself to sit in it for a second so you understand it. As human beings, all we ever really want is to feel understood and heard. And we can give that to ourselves in such a meaningful way if we allow ourselves to do it. Okay, so step 1, notice the mini protection. Step 2, ask yourself a question behind what you are feeling. Step 3 is kind of what I just said, which is leaning into this discomfort, allowing yourself to explore that feeling. After this, after we know what we're feeling, after we know why we're feeling what we're feeling, the next step is to reframe that. We are going to act from insight rather than allowing those mini protections to stop us from getting to the root and stop us from being real. So the reframing part of this, actually, it like kind of seems hard when I'm sitting here talking about it, but when you're in the emotion, it's actually a lot easier than you think, because it's one thing for me to say, like, okay, now that you've explored your emotion, like, just change your mind. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not like I'm saying, like, okay, now that you know how you feel, you can just like not feel that way anymore. You know, it's not, that isn't how it works, obviously. Now we know that the real reason why you're sitting in this, like, oh, I don't like this girl, like, she's so unrelatable, like, whatever, she changed, like, blah, 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 blah. Now that we know that behind that is actually a discomfort in our own life, we can reframe this thought and be like, okay, hold on. If the reason I started following this girl is because I related to her and now I don't anymore, that is proof that someone in my position can get everything they want. She just proved it to me. Somebody who's starting in a similar place to you can get to the next level. They can do that. You just saw it happen. That's the reason why you allegedly don't like this girl. You know what I mean? So instead of acting in the, oh, I don't like this girl insecurity vibe, we can act in a, this highlights my want for success. This girl shows me what I'm capable of because she was relatable to me for a reason. So if she, who I perceive as very similar to me, can do this, I can too. I actually can too. And this is a whole process. Like I said, like this performative healing shit, like getting comfortable with your emotions doesn't happen overnight. Like it is a process. You even being able to pinpoint what that deep emotion is beyond the surface of like feeling like you don't like this girl, that also takes practice. All of this takes practice. But once you get to the actual bottom of it, like that girl's not going to bother you anymore. Like you're not going to see her content and be like, oh my God, what the fuck? So the last step is to check back in with yourself. Just like be like, okay, hold up, what just fucking happened? Do a little recap moment. Like, okay, after I became aware of this issue, I explored my emotion. That's the reason why this happened. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, of course I would feel that way if this happened to me and that happened to me and this is an insecurity of mine and all that. So let me just like allow myself to feel this, get to know it a little better. Now I'm seeing the situation from a different light. Cool. We just did that, bitch. So now, naturally, since we've made that awareness, our brain, the next time something like this happens, because we took the time to be aware of what our process was, we will naturally be more aware next time. We will naturally be like, wait, actually, I don't hate that bitch. I don't. Like I wish I did, low-key, because that's easier to feel. However, there's something else deeper going on, and I know I have to address it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be honest, y'all. This episode does not give you like instant gratification. Like you're not gonna feel like you just like got this shit now. Like, and if you do, slay, like love that. But this is, like I said, this is something that is a process. And the effects of healing the right way don't always immediately make you feel better. Those mini protections are the things that make you feel better immediately. However, in the long run, doing it this way, getting to the real root of it, is what's going to make you the most comfortable in your own skin. That's what's going to make you the most confident in who you are as a person. What would you rather do? Deflect your emotions onto other people your entire life, or get to know your patterns, get to know yourself, and heal yourself from the inside out so you have an unshakable confidence that nobody can fuck with? Like, I fear the answer is quite obvious, guys. Like, I know it's not the easiest thing to hear. I know this shit, that this work that we're doing in this podcast is all long run shit. Like, this is all like change the way I feel about myself on the inside type shit. Not like, oh, I feel like a better person today. It's like it's like, okay, how can I be the best I possibly can be? How can I get the most fulfillment out of life? How can I set myself up for a healthy future? How can I love myself the best way possible, even when it's hard? Okay. I hope y'all are still with me. I hope y'all see the value in changing your performative healing into real healthy healing, because I feel like just like grinding and getting your shit done and like being happy right now is like what's prioritized in this world. But I swear to God, doing the long run work, nobody can tell me shit about myself. Nothing hurts me like that. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, things are hurtful. I'm not sitting here saying I never get hurt, lol. But I am sitting here saying that I'm incredibly confident in who I am. There's nothing and no one who could change that, because I've done this work constantly. I know myself inside and out. I know exactly what I want. I know exactly what makes me tick. So I know exactly how to take care of myself in the best way possible. And because I can take care of myself in this way, that means I have high standards for the rest of my life. That means I don't allow like anything other than what I want. So I hope we have a better understanding of performative healing, why it's actually quite damaging, and why it's worth it to explore and like really commit to healthy healing. I honestly could go on and on about this topic, but I think that is all I'm going to touch on this week. So let's do a little recap. Okay. First, we talked about what performative healing even is, which is when we act like we're over something, or we act like we're growing and we're healing and all this stuff, but we're really protecting ourselves from feeling the hard feelings. We are surface level doing what we need to do to like get through the day and feel better about ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Then we talked about how to tell if this is something that we do. And we went through a few of these. First one was noticing what you're telling yourself. If you're telling yourself being like, oh, I don't care, like it's fine, blah, 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 like stuff like that. The next one would be to look at your motivation. Why are you saying this? Why are you doing it? Is this for you, or is this to look like you're healed? Or is this to just feel like you're healed? Like, do I just want to tell myself I'm healed, or am I actually healed? The next one is emotional consistency. Do we feel like when we're talking about this, we're just constantly feeling up and down? We're constantly feeling on edge? Or is it more like something that you're consistently working through, like you're on a boat and you're going through waves of emotion? Roller coaster versus we're sailing. You know what I mean? And then we looked at if we are avoiding our feelings or if we're engaging with them. Are we noticing the feelings and then honoring them? Or are we noticing them and then doing what we need to do to not feel them anymore? You know what I mean? And now we know that once we notice that we're doing this, the task is to explore the feeling, understand ourselves, rather than doing whatever means possible to not feel this anymore as fast as possible. Get to know your emotions, get to know what they're trying to tell you, honor what they're trying to tell you, lean into them. And then once you know why you're doing what you're doing, why you're feeling what you're feeling, now we can reframe it. Now we're able to look at it in a little bit of a different light since we know where we're starting. Okay. I hope this has been of value to you guys. I honestly felt like I was a little bit rambly, so hopefully this was helpful. But yeah, performative healing, it's something honestly that we kind of all do. I just want y'all to live the most fulfilling life you possibly can. I want y'all to get to know yourselves on these levels because you deserve to be known on those levels. And for you to do it for yourself is truly such a beautiful thing, because you are going to be with yourself your whole life. You might as well learn how to love yourself the best, how to support yourself the best. Okay? And in order to do that, we have to get real deep. Oh, guys, I had to say it. I'm sorry, I had to say it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me in this episode. Let's jump into the advice. Our first question says, I'm almost 28 and I have no social life. I'm a lesbian. In parentheses, lesbian, period. At first I was okay with being alone, but now I'm just lonely. I've gotten used to it. I want friends, but I don't know how to make them. Bitch, this is so real. I feel like it is so hard to make friends in our 20s. Like, it is so difficult. It's just not as easy as it used to be. I feel like everybody already has an established friend group. It's harder to find friends at work. Like, it's harder to do all these things. It is just like not like it was in college or high school, where you're just gonna make friends because you're with so many people your own age group at the same time every single day. Super real of you to include the lesbian part of it, because obviously, if you guys didn't know, I'm also a lesbian, and it's important to have friends in the community. You know, it's important to have people who understand, like, in the ways that only we can understand each other. You know what I'm saying? So what sucks is that your only option is to continuously put yourself out there over and over again. The only way to make these connections is to go out and find them. I know it's like I wish it was as easy as us going to like a fucking bookstore and then like our bestie bumping into us, but it is but it's just more than that. Like if we want friends, we have to go out and start complimenting people. We have to go out and like start, like, I know it sounds so fucking simple, but it is really actually so hard in the moment to like be like, yo, actually, like, oh my god, I love your skirt, where'd you get it, like something like that. And then continuing, and then if you like that person's vibe, you'd be like, oh my god, wait, okay, Loki, I want more friends in the city, like I want more friends here. Being super honest and being like, hey, honestly girl, I'm looking for more friends, would you want to hang out sometime? Like, it sucks to put yourself out there over and over again. It is so hard, it's nerve-wracking, all of this stuff. But just remember, at the end of the day, we all seek connection in some way. We all want friends. We all want connections in some way. So you're not weird for like looking for that. Like that's so human and so, so natural. Um, I think specifically when it comes to the lesbian part of it, it kind of matters where you are. Like I'm gonna be honest. Like I live in Chicago, so there's a lot of sapphic events going on all the time. And honestly, most of my friends are queer just because that's just like the way that life worked out for me, because I'm in queer spaces all the time. Like I'm in a blue city, I'm gay, I go to gay bars, like I like listen to gay music, like all of this stuff. Like that's just what my life is. So I'm quite surrounded by it. But it would be so much harder for me to find that community if I was in like rural Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? Like I fully recognize that the fact that I can just go out to a sapphic event, it's like very lucky of me, honestly, just to like be where a lot of other sapphics are. But I also think that that is part of it. Like if you want a specific type of friend, you need to go to the places that person would be. You know what I'm saying? So like if you want an active friend, like if you, let's say you're an athlete, like, and you go to the gym all the time, maybe you want to start making friends at the gym. I can't tell you how many times I've been like, hey girl, you know what, you look like you know what you're doing, can you tell me if my form is fucked up? You know what I'm saying? Like it is actually, I know it's really hard in the moment, especially if you have social anxiety, but like a lot of times when people are approached, they're thinking a lot more about how they are reacting than if you're weird or not. You know what I'm saying? Like we are all so caught up in our head worrying about ourselves. So don't think that like you putting yourself out there is gonna be weird. Like I said, like we're all looking for connection. And if some girl came up to me in the gym and it was like, oh my god, I love your leggings, where do you get them? I'd be like, girl, do you want to go? I don't know, but let's go into the locker room, you can look at the label. You know what I'm saying? Like putting yourself out there over and over again in areas in which your ideal friend would be is the answer. And I'm not saying that if you do this once or twice it's going to work out perfectly. It's just about being super consistent with it. It sucks. Like I said, like it is hard to make friends these days, but that if there's a way to do it, that would be the way. Another idea, another way, guys, I know this one sucks, but like low-key, guys, internet friends are not all that bad. Promise. Like my best friend, one of my best friends ever, Katie, if you're listening to this, I love you so much. We met as One Direction stan accounts on Twitter. Like that's what, like when we were like 14, 15, 16, and we just like happened to live like an hour away from each other, so we started hanging out. But this is like, if you can find an online community for anything anywhere. So like let's say you have like a super niche interest in fucking trains. I have to say trains because I love trains. But like let's say you have a super niche interest in trains. You're gonna find people on TikTok who love trains. Go in their comment section, DM these people. Like DM people, be like, oh my god, I love your vibe. Like here's my Instagram if you ever want to like yap about anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be super honest with you. You are going to face rejection multiple times. That is part of it. It is gonna suck. Like it might work out immediately, slay if it does, but more than likely there's going to be people who are going to be like, oh my god, yes girl, like let's hang out, and then ghost you. You know what I mean? Like that's just like the reality of what fucking happens, unfortunately. Don't let that jade you from the experience. Keep trying, keep putting yourself out there, keep being you, and you will attract those people. You will find those people. I know it's like the shittiest response I could ever give is like, oh my god, it'll come to you when you like least expect it. Like that's not, I know, like I hope that's not how I'm trying to come off, but I guess what I am saying is that if you consistently put work into finding people who you know will align with you, it's gonna come to you. I lived in Chicago for a few years before I had to move back in with my parents because my roommate situation got to be terrible. And when I moved back out to the city, I had no friends. I had no friends. And so when I got my first job, I was expecting like all of my coworkers to just be my friends. Like I was like, okay, oh my God, I'm so excited. Like everybody's in the same age group. Like everybody gets along. It did not happen like that for me. I really thought I was going to be part of that group immediately. And I'm going to be honest with you, I faced rejection from that specific group for like almost a year. It sucked. Like I was so lonely. I felt like shit. Like I had just lost all of my friends and I literally had no one. Like I had no one except for my partner at the time. And like that's fine and good, but at the same time, like nothing replaces your girlies. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing feels as good as having that friend group. And so it took me a long time, but after a while, someone new got hired and him and I became friends. And once him and I became friends, everyone else was like, okay, fuck, I guess it's fucked. But like everyone else was like, okay, well, I guess maybe she ain't that bad. And so people started talking to me. And so like, is that like the best basis of friendship? No, obviously not. But every time I was in a position for me to potentially make a connection, I would speak on it. It's like looking for connection in these people. It sucks. It took a lot. I honestly feel like I'm losing a lot of friends right now in my life. Like a lot of people who I thought were close to me or I thought were good friends are not who I thought they were. And so I'm kind of rebuilding my group again from the ground up. And I'm finding that this might just be what life is. It's like losing friends and gaining them over and over again. So it sucks. I know it's hard and I know it sucks, especially like wanting a queer friend group that is harder to find. But the best thing I can tell you is just to keep putting yourself out there, keep being unapologetically you. That will attract people who are like, oh my God, I fuck with her vibe. Like she's so real. You know what I mean? Like that will attract that kind of person who values the same thing you do. So just keep putting yourself out there. Don't give up. I know this sucks. I'm so sorry. I know you're a bad bitch. So don't ever forget that. Okay, let's do one more because I was kind of yappy on that. The next one, oh, girl. Okay, so the next one is dating is trash. It's not like it used to be in 2021. Men are fake and I'm not gonna say that next word, but like basically it's a derogatory term. No one is asking anyone out on a date anymore. Years ago, men would jump to take me out. Now I'm the one initiating and they still don't take me out. Girl, I'm sorry. Like the straight girls are struggling and I know I've heard this so much. I'm so sorry. Like I would genuinely, I'm so sorry. This is probably gonna make it like this is probably gonna annoy you. I'm so sorry. But like genuinely, I don't know what I would do if I was in your position. Like I have heard genuinely terrible things about the dating pool fucking everywhere. And I do think like there's only so much I can tell you as a lesbian because I think dating in lesbian world is very different than dating men. But what I will say is that my best advice for this is I feel like a lot of girlies right now are kind of like taking what they can get because they know the dating pool is so limited and there's not a lot of good guys. So people will be like, oh, well, this guy's good enough. Don't do that. Whatever you do, do not do that. Do not do that. Don't lower your standards for a single motherfucker, okay? It might take longer. It might be this shitty process, but you'll be so happy in the end when you end up with exactly what you want. And you know, if you already know this, I love that for you, but I like it. I'm so serious about it. I will say this advice is going to be kind of similar to the advice I gave in the last question. The only thing we can control in these situations is ourselves. So we can't control, like, obviously when the perfect person is going to come into our life, we can't control what the options are, but we can control what we allow and what we don't allow. We can control putting ourselves out there. If you want a man to pursue you, you can have that. It might take a second though. It might just take a second of like being in spaces where maybe like, I guess you could say assertive men are. So like think about your type. Like what do you like in a man? If you're looking for somebody who's like assertive and takes charge and stuff like that, what do men like that do? Where do men like that go? Like you have to go to those places and put yourself out there. Allow yourself to be seen. It sucks because you have to go out of your way at this point to like genuinely put in work to finding the types of people that you want. I wish I could tell you, I know, don't worry about it. This is where you should go. This is where you find the good men. I know they're hard to find, but you having these standards, having people want to like pursue you, that is not the problem. I hope you know that that is not the problem. You don't need to change that. I hate to say it, but literally the only option here is just to keep trying. I'm so sorry. I know, but like, I will say, don't probably try like at the club, maybe, because that is like, think about where the shittiest man you know goes all the time. Like, for me, like, the shittiest men I know go to Wrigleyville every night. You know what I mean? Like, that's just some like Chicago shit. Like, that's like the straightest neighborhood in Chicago, like one of the straightest neighborhoods in Chicago. So, like, those people, like, the types of people who vibe there every single night, like, I don't typically always fuck with. So I'm not going to go out there and look for, like, I'm not going to go out there and look for friends. If that's not the kind of guy you like, I wouldn't go out there and look for a guy. You know what I mean? It's shitty. I wish I could give you better advice, but all I can say is don't you ever lower your standards by a fucking centimeter, a millimeter. I don't give a fuck. In fact, I would like every single person in this chat right now to heighten their standards by a foot, a mile. The reason why it's taking so long is because you have standards, and that's a good thing. I know it seems like a bad thing to not like be able to find who you want to be with, but the fact that it's hard for you to find someone because you want these things and you're not settling for anything less is really good. That's a sign that you're a bitch who gets what she wants. You don't accept less than what you want, clearly, because you're saying like, they're not taking me out, so what the fuck is up? You know what I mean? So I wish I could tell you something better, but it's kind of the same vibe as before. Keep putting yourself out there. Go to the places where what you want lives. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to read or go to a bookstore, kind of shit. It's fucking annoying, I know, but keep putting yourself out there. Don't lower your standards. It takes time. And I'm sorry. I know it's hell out there. I'm so sorry, girlies. But yeah. Anyway, that is all for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you guys have any questions or advice that you want me to put my little 2 cents in on, don't forget to email me at realdeepproductions@gmail.com or click the link for the Google form in the link in my bio on any social platform that I have. And if you're not already following me on those social platforms, you totally should. Hey, it's Mary Alice on TikTok, Mary Alice Roach, yes, like the bug, on Instagram. And if you haven't subscribed already or downloaded this podcast, please go ahead and do that for me if you like what you heard today. It helps me out so much. And I love you guys so much for listening and being here. Okay. I end my TikTok lives this way every single time, and I forgot to end last episode like this, so I'm going to do it today. Don't forget you're a bad bitch and you can do anything you want in this world as long as it's kind to yourself and other people. Okay. I love you. Bye.